Hey everybody, welcome back to the Perform Motion YouTube channel. So today I'm here with Josh and Chris. We're going to be talking about why your shoulder hurts at the bottom of a bench press. So because there are so many different ways that someone can bench press, so many different techniques, we have soft touch, we have sync, we're mostly going to be talking about the small mechanics that occur at the shoulder. So you can take these little bit of tips and information and apply this to whatever technique you use for the bench press. So today we're going to be looking at Josh's benches, whenever he benches and how he does it, and then talk a little bit about what's happening. So I'm going to get Josh to do a couple of reps. I'm going to take a closer look. So Josh is going to go for about 10 reps, and we're just going to talk about what happens during a bench press. So generally speaking, depending on how much arch you have, you're going to move from shoulder extension into shoulder flexion. So shoulder extension is where we come down towards the chest, and shoulder flexion is the press back up. So to be able to get into shoulder extension, our shoulder needs to be able to comfortably internally rotate, and then to get back out of the bottom position with the bars in our chest back up towards the starting position, we need shoulder external rotation. So regardless of the way that you bench press, we generally recommend that you hold some kind of external rotation and then let your body move from that externally rotated position into internal as you move down up from the bench press. The reason that we want to do this is because that can help the shoulder feel a little bit more stable. So when we create that little bit more external rotation, we find a way to hold that during a bench through either our grip or our technique. It allows our rear delt to create a little bit more stiffness in the shoulder capsule. And this can keep the head of our shoulder joint just nice and secure as we bench press heavy weights. Makes us feel a bit stronger, a bit more stable, and less wobbly or potentially pinchy as we're doing those heavy bench presses. So if we take a closer look at the shoulder and talk a little bit about why the rear delt is important and keeping that external rotation, the best way to describe it is that a bench press isn't necessarily a row and then a press. The bench press is better described as resisting the bar and then pressing against it. So generally speaking, we always want to have some kind of force being pushed back against the barbell. We're resisting that bar crushing us as it comes down, and then we push against it rather than pulling against it and then pushing against it. So because pressing motions generally benefit from more external rotation, if we can try and keep ourselves in that more externally rotated position, we can avoid the barbell trying to push us around. So if we take Josh here, and we take a closer look at his shoulder, if we externally rotate this arm, you can see that the rear delt will start to bulge a little bit, and it will just tighten up the back of the shoulder here. Helps create a little bit more stability and gives us much more resistance, helps us leverage a little bit more tricep to create a bit more elbow extension strength against that barbell, and then we can pick and choose whether we want to let that barbell come down or press back up against it.
So if you're experiencing a little bit of shoulder pain on the way down at the bottom of the bench press, you can cure it a few different ways. So as Chris is going to demonstrate here, he could tuck his elbows a little bit on the way down. This is going to create a little bit more artificial external rotation on the way down. Alternatively, he could also think about bending the bar a little bit more, which is going to do pretty much the same thing in terms of the elbow position on the way down. Those elbows are going to be a little bit closer to his rib cage.